Dollar General. Yep. I went over there today. Okay, and the first thing you get is somebody looking at you like, that's how I feel about Dollar General. Come back. Everybody from Waynesville has been putting up on every single Appalachian form they can. Don't go into Dollar General politely in jokes. I'll even patch in the funny. But you really have to understand that sometimes part of the solution is also creating solutions. So yes, we could all live on our property and never see one another, never hang out and stuff like this. But sometimes the solution is also creating alternatives and options. That's kind of where I'm working. And it's really hard to do by yourself. It's really, really easy if you happen to be in the system, so to speak, to where you're able to go ahead and get a lot of light control problems. But a lot of money at one time. Once you're able to go ahead and get a lot of money at one time, you're able to go ahead and actually do these things, and it just keeps snowballing. It's a lot harder when you're dealing with saving extra $10 to $5 a day, if that. Maybe some people are even doing that a week or even a month. Okay? It's really difficult when you're at that situation to actually keep focused and really be able to make things happen. If you really get down to it, that's one reason that having a higher minimum wage worked, was actually to go ahead and have people be able to live more complete lives without doing the McMansion thing. A lot of people don't get it. They expect people to do like the 40-hour work week, $40,000 a year. That's the spending power of the old minimum wage around 1968. So when you get that, people think, oh, I can buy, oh gosh, matching BMWs for my family. But you can also do that while you're also making better decisions. So a lot of people back then would have found a small property, maybe quarter acre, done a garden, bought a beach home, and then eventually they have a live aboard. It's a yacht. Eventually they'll have whatever car they really loved and keep it. These days we're having trouble with that because everybody wants to go ahead and do the McMansion thing. But also, when you're making so much less, if the spending power of minimum wage is about $20 an hour in 1968, and what you're making right now is entry-level work for a lot of people is $7. What you're required to spend on is more too. Before then, you wouldn't have to pay for health insurance and things like this, depending on what your spouse makes, what your partner makes, where you live and stuff. You may have to still purchase that insurance. If you go to college, that's one way you may have to purchase that insurance. Things go up a little. You know, there wasn't an internet bill back then. That we still need that for school. We still need that for work. We still need that to be able to keep up to where we seem relevant to people. And that keeping up is not keeping up with the Joneses, so to speak. My grandmother was a Jones, so, you know, we used to kind of laugh about that. But it's actually keeping up just with what is out there, you know, things to talk about. It's hard to have a discussion about office politics when you're trying to go ahead and talk to somebody who's using, a lot of times when I was doing tours, I'd use character names and stuff, and that's how you'd be able to talk to people. So you may have to have a Netflix description to go ahead and, Netflix subscription to be able to have that description to tell your children or your students at a college or your coworkers, you know. If you need to go ahead and say, how does so-and-so live? They live that weird friend's life where they're always at the coffee shop and they don't do anything and they have these really expensive apartments and stuff, then they understand what you're talking about, you know? That's a dated term. And if you do that too often, people think you're stuck, you know? That requires money. So add that into the minimum wage discussion. But the expectation of freedom and liberty was a lot stronger back then. So a property like this would not be seen to be sticking out too much like it does to some people, but would be cultured a little bit more to be able to give you that ability to go ahead and invest and do your business work and things like that. So right now I'm about ready to move over to Nevada. Got stalled out a little bit because I ended up in a stupid wreck. Insurance effectively is dealing with some people lying, and they are going with how the damage is on the car. So I'm confident, and worst case scenario, I got a ticket. I don't drive dangerously, but I will take that into consideration and move on. But part of the work is actually making those things happen. So stay tuned and see what can happen.